As promised, this video is going to talk about the assignments for this course utilizing the syllabus. Each one of these assignments can be found in your Blackboard weeks. The assignment will be able to be accessed in the week in which it is due. Please make sure that you set your Blackboard settings to make sure that your notifications and your to-do list and all that stuff reflects your assignments. Um, as we are going through a unprecedented pandemic related to COVID, I'm keeping the assignments the same, but I want to write specifically to what's going on. I believe that students learn more um, and learn best when they're able to take the content that they're learning and the assignments that they're writing and apply it to real life situation. And right now we have a huge one that we're grappling with, a public health emergency, if you will, with the global pandemic of COVID-19. So with that, I'm going to continue on with the assignment, but make sure that I include emphasis on COVID-19 because I want you to um, write with a focus on what's going on right now with COVID-19. The first assignment is Healthcare Advancement and Trend Paper. Students will identify at least one recent health advancement that involves technology, tech, or apps. Explain its use, its applications in various healthcare settings, and how it has affected medical and patient care. What are the benefits and limits of the technology? Are there any special implications for communities of colors? Sorry about that. Is there any implication for special implications for communities of colors or special population? How does it contribute to individualized or patient-focused medicines from a social work perspective? Is it used or could it be used in your field and placement and how? Imagine and describe the expanding role of the social worker in implementing this initiative. For this paper, you are to have at least 10 peer-reviewed journal articles, as well as course text citations and other forms of media for information are fine. You must have at least 10 peer-reviewed journal articles. Please get familiar with how to research journal articles for your papers. As stated in an earlier video, many of my folders, I already include the journal articles that you need for required readings and supplemental reading. But I also would like for you to practice using the library services to access those articles on your own. That way, when you go and write your papers, you're able to grab the evidence that you're going to need or the peer-reviewed journals that you're going to use. Please feel free to use any of the websites also that I have listed to inform your papers, but they will not count towards your 10 peer-reviewed journal articles. I want to make sure that when you write your healthcare advancement and trend paper to make it relevant, to think about that healthcare advancement and or trend in the era of COVID-19. So think about some of the healthcare advancements that are evolving now to help address this pandemic. Also think about how the more recent trends, think about the electronic medical records, think about virtual medicine. Think about how these most recent advancements has helped us, particularly with COVID-19. So again, I want you to think about a healthcare advancement and or trend and write about that using this assignment instructions. Because we are in the midst of a pandemic, I want you to talk about that healthcare advancement and trend paper in the context of COVID-19 and how it can help improve outcomes for people exposed. And think about this broadly. Um, I will be available to talk to you more about this assignment. We can use either your Blackboard Collaborate virtual office, or I can set up an individual appointment with you utilizing Zoom to discuss it. Um, Students benefit most in group question formats, mainly because other students may have the same question that you have and can benefit from the answer. And students can hear what other people have questions about, and that can help them in their formulation of their work as well. 6 to 7 pages, APA format, due September 10th. All this is located in the actual assignment itself in Blackboard as well. Here is the rubric that will be attached to that assignment and how your assignment will be graded. Assignment 2, Health Disparities Paper. Again, I want you to write this in the context of COVID-19. So from current journal articles that you have read or discussed in class, choose one health problem that has a disproportionate effect on community of color or group. Instead of you picking one, we're using COVID-19. So we're going to use something that's relevant, something that's going on now. So COVID-19 is our unit of focus, and talk about health disparities as it is impacted by COVID-19. Discuss the health problems and factors that influence those health disparities related to COVID-19. Identify one principle of the Black perspective and one other theoretical framework that helps explain your understanding of health disparities and ways to approach the delivery of services. Based on your understanding of COVID-19 and disparities related to it, consider at least one implication each related to social work, one implication for policy, and one implication for practice. Again, 10 peer-reviewed journal articles for this assignment, 6 to 7 pages, due September 24th, and here's the grading rubric. Again, we're using the same assignment, however, we're focusing specifically on COVID-19 and health disparities related to COVID-19. Assignment number 3, analysis of Medicare and Medicaid and presidential candidates' position on healthcare. Construct a grid to describe separately basic coverage under Medicaid and Medicare, Parts A, B, and C. Again, construct a grid to describe separately basic coverage under Medicaid and Medicare. When you're focusing on the Medicare grid, you're looking at Parts A, B, C, and D. When we talk about a grid is a chart that you use to convey information. An example of a grid is this rubric, for example. So you can just create a table and outline. It's a good way to summarize a large amount of data. So what you're going to do is use a grid to describe Medicaid and Medicare, Parts A, B, C, and D. Please be careful not to confuse the basic coverage under Parts A, B, C, and D. Talk about what are the key changes in both programs under the Affordable Care Act. What are the basic proposed differences between two presidential candidates representing the Democratic and Republican parties on Medicare or Medicaid, or health care in general, okay? So here in this part of the paper, I want you to just identify two presidential candidates and their views on Medicare and Medicaid. Please, let's use the upcoming presidential election. Why? Because this will help serve two purposes. One, to inform you to write this paper, but it'll also help inform you in the voting process. So I want you to be informed voters, and so we're going to pick two presidential candidates for the upcoming election, and then talk about Medicare and Medicaid under them, and or healthcare in general. Okay, so Medicare and Medicaid specifically, what are their views? What information can you find to back up any views that they have on Medicare and Medicaid, and their views on healthcare? When you focus on their views on healthcare, I would like you to again to focus on COVID-19. Whatever information that you can gather to help back evidence on what their views are related to how to go about treating, testing for COVID-19, etc., etc. So this assignment is to help improve your knowledge on Medicare and Medicaid and how it works, how political views influence policies related to Medicare and Medicaid. And I also want you to have a good idea of what the presidential candidates are proposing in terms of addressing COVID-19. Part 2 of this assignment, give your analysis or opinion of how health disparities, the uninsured, immigrants, and students are addressed in Medicare and Medicaid. How are these areas addressed? What would you change? Using your knowledge of Medicare and Medicaid, write on how each program helps support patients or family members in your field placement. Again, make sure you include a focus on COVID-19 in that discussion as well. how Medicare and Medicaid can help with clients in your field placement and help clients with COVID-19. You must include at least 10 peer-reviewed journal articles for this assignment. This assignment is 5.5 to 7 pages long, gives you some room, and gives you a range in which to write. And this is due October 15th, and this is the rubric for this assignment. Public service announcement. You will be using the groups that you will be set up in early in the course for support, peer support, to develop a public service announcement. Select one population, either children, young adults, adults, or older adults, to complete a social marketing plan. And that's a way to market your message. Develop a 5-minute public service announcement to educate people of color about COVID-19 and the Affordable Care Act. So I want you to focus specifically on the Affordable Care Act. But when you talk about the Affordable Care Act, I want you to talk about how the coverage mandates in the Affordable Care Act can help them with this current pandemic that we have going on. You may self-select your group based on population of interest, meaning children, young adults, or older adults. You are permitted to meet online with your classmate on this assignment if you cannot meet face to face. The PSA is to be recorded as a video from your phone or other audio visual recording device. We can talk more about this if you have questions about this PSA, and an example of a website samples of the public service announcements are listed here. There will also be a Blackboard folder in the week prior that will give you more information, resource information on public service announcement. Again, 4 to 5 minute video, due 11/5, November 5th. When you develop this video, you're going to have to upload it or house it someplace where it's going to give you a shareable link. Google Drives is a good area, one place to consider in which you can upload and get a shareable link. Another area you might want to check out in which you can get a shareable link would also be Dropbox also provides shareable link as well. Here is the rubric for that. Social marketing tactical plan. This is just how do you plan to market this message? How do you plan to get the word out? Are you going to use Instagram, Facebook? And you have to think about the population that you're serving to best inform how best to plan the market your message. Here is the rubric for this. Please be sure to use the Blackboard Collaborate group office hours to discuss this assignment more. More than happy to be available to you if you ask me any questions via email. Best way, or text me. Best way is to, again, jump on the Collaborate session so we can all talk as a group face to face. I think it's more enriching to students when they can talk to me one-on-one. And then we have our assignment number 5, global health paper. Select a global health topic of interest to you. However, normally with this assignment, I allowed students to pick, but right now we're going to actually talk about COVID-19. Again, I want to focus this class because we're going through a global health pandemic with COVID-19. But here, I want you to select a country that is dealing with the pandemic specifically and focus on that particular region of the world and its response and dealings with COVID-19. Okay. So as you will not be picking your own topic, it's going to be provided for you because we'll be focusing on COVID-19. I want you to provide an overview of COVID-19, populations affected, scope of the issue, areas most affected by COVID-19. I want you to discuss a country that is affected by this problem or the source of the problem as you understand it to be. If you know, demonstrate understanding of the cultural, familial, demographic, environment, and or religious, spiritual implication to COVID-19 for the country that you're selecting. You can pick any country other than the United States. Here I'm trying to get you to understand the pandemic from a global perspective rather than how we're dealing with it in the United States. I want you to write about any WHO policy recommendations and analysis of additional policy needs with attention to access, cost, and quality. Identify health disparities related to this health topic in the country that you selected and incorporate the Black perspective in relation to this health issue and or population. Again, I'm going to talk about that again. I want to review it just to make sure you understand. We are going to be talking about the population affected in that country that you select, the scope of the issue in that country, and the areas in that country most affected by COVID-19. Want to talk about how that country is most affected by the program by COVID-19. How is that country being most affected by COVID-19? And what are some of the source of the problems related to COVID-19? Again, demonstrate how COVID-19 and how the cultural, familial dynamics of that country and the demographic and religious, spiritual implications of that particular culture, and how those implications influence how that country is dealing with COVID-19. Again, I want you to look up any WHO policy recommendations and analysis of COVID-19 to focus on. Also think about access to care, cost of care, and the quality of care specifically related to COVID-19 in that country. And identify what are some of the health disparities related to that health topic. I mean, that country or region related to COVID-19. You're also going to incorporate the lens of the Black perspective in relation to COVID-19 in that country. Please include a minimum of 10 research reference articles for this. Make sure that when you look at these articles that they're at least within the last 5 years. COVID-19 is a current phenomenon, and you want to use the most recent literature to inform your understanding of it. This paper is going to be 8 to 10 pages long. APA format is a must, due November 19th, and this is the rubric for that assignment. Again, we can talk about this assignment more as well during Blackboard Collaborate group sessions. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have via email regarding the assignment, but I prefer them to happen in the group discussion so that other members of your class can benefit from it as well. And then finally, our discussion boards, which are weekly. Please stay tuned to that. They are part of your final grade for this course and related to your participation grade. They will be listed. You will make sure that you cite in APA format. So you can either, I've seen students do this in different ways. They either write an in-text citation in your discussion post, or they'll put a reference at the bottom of the post. And some students do both. They put an in-text citation and a reference. I just want to see some kind of APA formatting in that post. I want to either see an APA citation or a reference and or both. This helps me see whether you have a good grasp of APA citations and references before we get to the major papers. If you start seeing that you're getting points deducted in your discussion boards, partial points in the discussion board, and I'm telling you, or you get feedback from me that your APA isn't correct, that lets you know that there are areas that you need to work on before you get to your major paper. So the more you show me in your discussion boards, the more I can be able to give you some feedback on your APA formatting. Original posts will be due on Wednesday evening by 11:59, your original post, and then I need you to reply to at least 2 students by Friday evening. Once everyone posts on Wednesday, there will be posts there for people to pick 2 students to reply from. And that is that's about it for your major assignments for this course. This is just an overview of these assignments to help give you a better understanding of what I'm looking for. Again, as we are in the midst of a global pandemic, this is a great time to take this course, a great time to have better understanding of what's going on in our world related to healthcare. This is also a good time to understand what the role of social work is in this global pandemic. So I'm contouring all these assignments to focus specifically on the global health pandemic that is bringing our country to its knees, and a lot of reason why how our classes is looking the way it looks today. But we need to really understand this on a more deeper level, and we're going to utilize this class to understand that. I hope this video is helpful for you. Please look forward to an introduction email from me. Introduction video. I will be uploading one more video this week, which is just a general introduction to the course and giving you some more information about me and my background in medical social work. Thank you.